Allen, the youngest coach in the NFL at 39 years of age. The former Bronco defensive coordinator Romeo Crennel took over as the head coach this season after 2 years as Todd Haley's defensive coordinator. Our broadcast today is in Spanish. We're available using the SAP button on your television. Oakland won the toss and they will receive. Ryan Suckup will kick off. Mike Goodson is deep back. He had a 45-yard kickoff return last week against Jacksonville. For the 107th time, the Raiders and the Chiefs, and they'll leave it in the end zone. Touchback to the 20, which will take us to the quarterback for the Oakland Raiders, Carson Palmer. Now 32, is passing for more yards with Oakland than he ever did with the Cincinnati Bengals.
Well, he's growing even more comfortable in the offense under their coordinator, Greg Knapp. Carson Palmer has a lot of control, particularly when they go in the no-huddle offense. Look for him to go after Stanford route. Cornerback for the Chiefs, a former teammate of his, knows all his tendencies. They believe they can attack him in the passing game.
First down and 10 from the 20. Blocked by Valdir, going deep and looking for Hayward Bay and picked off by Route. Stanford Route, the former Raider, released and signed by the Chiefs and brought down by Cooper Carlisle. A pickoff on the very first play of the game, 17-yard return.
Well, Kevin, we told you they were going to go after Stanford Route, and this is just Carson Palmer giving Darius Hayward Bay an opportunity to make a play on the ball. You have to high point the ball. Hayward Bay never comes back to it. In fact, it's Stanford Route who plays the ball better than Hayward Bay by high pointing the ball, going up for it at its highest point. Little pressure on Palmer, not able to step up in the pocket. He's taking a whack in the chin, but Palmer gets picked off on that first play. They may have to abandon that thought that Stanford Route is the guy to pick on.
No one has turned the ball over more on opening drives this season than the Raiders. And you can see they're fourth, and not only do the Chiefs get it, but they get it in Raider territory. Brady Quinn, 1st and 10 from the Oakland 44. 5 in the secondary for the Raiders, and Quinn goes right to work and across the middle. The running back, Jamal Charles, stiff-arming his way into Joselio Hansen. A gain of 5 is the quarterback, Brady Quinn, who is making his second consecutive start.
And what did Brady Quinn tell us? He says, I'm not looking at the long-range career plan here. I'm just taking it one play at a time, one game at a time. More than anything, he's got to protect the football and not turn it over.
A cluster in the slot, 2nd down and 5. Charles, and tied up there by Matt Shaughnessy. The gain of a yard down to the 38-yard line. Left tackle Brandon Albert has played well. In fact, the Chiefs have the 2nd-rated offensive line in the NFL coming into today. And the offense welcomes back running back Peyton Hillis, who missed the last 3 games with a high ankle sprain. He should give them that extra push, especially between the tackles. It is 3rd and 5 with the nickel secondary for Oakland. Winston the block, and Quinn overshoots Bo with the coverage by Branch along with Pat Lee. And now 4th down, and the Chiefs are going to punt.
It was Tommy Kelly who came through and put a lick on Brady Quinn. And the Raiders have been phenomenal defensively on 3rd down. They forced the 3 and out after the turnover by Carson Palmer. Excellent stand, not allowing points off the turnover.
Colquitt's going to punt, and deep back is Phillip Adams. He muffed a punt last week in Oakland against Jacksonville. With that rugby-type kick where the punter boots it right on the nose of the ball. It's a fair catch back at about the 6-yard line, 32-yard punt. So the Raiders will get it for a 2nd time. Palmer throwing a pick is back out there, 13:34 in the 1st. Carson Palmer, Solomon Wilcots has such a low interception percentage. First play of the game, he throws a pick deep.
More importantly, Darius Hayward Bay didn't contest for the football. Palmer trusted his receiver to go up for it, and Hayward Bay just watched as it was intercepted.
With McFadden in the backfield, 1st and 10 from the 6. And Darren McFadden, who has been struggling on the ground. He sees lassoed right there, thrown for a loss of a yard. Belcher knocks him back to about the 5. Now the line. This is a struggling offensive line. One of the lowest rated in the NFL. The right tackle, Willie Smith, taking the place of Khalif Barnes, has been an issue. And Darren McFadden has averaged just 3 yards a carry. Last year at this time, he led the NFL in rushing. And he was injured in the 7th of the season, ironically enough, against the Chiefs. His frank injury, and he was done. 2nd down and 5. And McFadden with Tom ushering him out of bounds at the 15-yard line. And he picks up about 10 on the play. The defense. Glenn Dorsey out with a calf injury, replaced by Batua Toei. And we've got a critical comment made this week in the press by Tom Bahali, calling the Raiders a dirty ball club. That came on the heels of the Bills saying that Ali was dirty. And the ex-Raider Stanford route released by the team once the new GM Reggie McKenzie went in there. Signed with the Chiefs after they lost Brandon Carr as a free agent to Dallas. He picked him off. They get the first down. Here's a 1st and 10. Right up the middle. Hardly anything there on a gain of about 2. They're going to mark him at about the 17-yard line. McFadden. Well, the Chargers lose. So Oakland coming into today was just a game out of first place. Denver plays tonight in New Orleans. The Chiefs have lost 3 straight. They're in the bottom of the division.
What did Dennis Allen tell us when we spoke with him, the head coach of the Oakland Raiders? He told his team all week long, guys, we're still in it. At 2-4, we are still within striking distance of achieving our goal.
On 2nd down and 8, Denarius Moore looking for some blocking, and that's what he gets, and he finds a seam, and he's off to the races to get by Flowers with a great block by Myers. More yardage for Denarius Moore. All the way to the 24 of Kansas City. That is a catch and run of 58 yards and a first down for the Raiders.
Oh, Moore is the speedy wide receiver who's made a lot of plays against these Kansas City Chiefs. Quick slant. It's a bubble screen. The blocking gets out front. Normally, he's running away from the defense at this point. As you can tell, he's still a little gimpy, hampered by injury. But the bubble screen is executed perfectly. Nice little catch and run from Denarius Moore, and the Raiders right now are off and rolling.
Right about Moore had a hamstring, and he missed all of training camp because of it. Here's a 1st and 10 handoff, and it goes to McFadden, again trying to ply his way up the middle. Barry and others are right there. It's a gain of 2. Solomon down to the 22.
And you could tell Denarius Moore was less than 100%. We've seen the speed that he has coming out of Tennessee. He lit it up at the combine when he was coming out of college. You can tell he's less than 100%, but still going to give it a go today and able to provide a big play for this Raiders offense.
He was number 4 in yards per reception a season ago. You can see why. 2nd down and 8 with the empty backfield. Good block by Wisniewski. That was deflected. Incomplete. Toa Tui, I think, got up there taking the place of Dorsey today with a nice block. He's a tall son of a gun, and it's now 3rd and 8.
Toa Tui, he's making a lot of plays. He's 6'8", Kevin. You mentioned how tall he is, and then he jumps to be able to bat this one down from Carson Palmer. Every time we watch him play, whether they're running the football, whether he's rushing the quarterback, kid from Washington State now in his 4th season, he is making a lot of plays for this Chiefs defense.
Kansas City with 6 defensive backs, 3rd down and 8. McFadden hit by Johnson, shy of the first down, picks up 5. He needed to get to the 15. He's down to the 18-yard line. This is going to set up Sebastian Janikowski.
Oh, good stand by this Kansas City Chiefs defense. Need to keep the Oakland Raiders out of the end zone. The Kansas City Chiefs have played from behind just about all season long. They have not led in a game in regulation so far this year. And so their defense really is going to have to hold water, but the offense has to catch fire as well.
Janikowski's had a couple of game-winning kicks already this season, including last week. Here's a 36-yarder. He loves Arrowhead. He's had great success here. Nails it from 36 and puts the Raiders on top. And the big play was a 58-yard catch and run by Denarius Moore. 9:51 in the first from Arrowhead. Al Janikowski just hit a 36-yard field goal. You mentioned before the Chiefs have never led at any time in the regulation portion of a regular season game this year, and again here they're behind.
Yeah, and they talked about during the bye week hitting the reset button. I think that's one of the things they need to turn around. You've got to score quickly and don't allow teams to get on top when you're playing at home.
Sean Drone will leave it in the end zone.
Yeah, here's what each team in the AFC West needs to do to take the next step. The Broncos D needs to match Peyton Manning's dominance. And San Diego Chargers already lost today. Well, Phillip Rivers needs to stop turning the ball over. And the Oakland Raiders, they have to mature, I think, around their quarterback, Carson Palmer. And if you're the Chiefs, answer the question at quarterback. Is it Castle? Is it Quinn? They need to find that out. I think week 8, all 4 teams still have a shot of winning the division title. And of course, Romeo Crennel and Dennis Allen knows that all too well.
Wide open division, that's for sure. And as we mentioned, Manning and Denver in New Orleans tonight. Here's a 1st and 10. Raiders staying in the nickel. Brady Quinn to Charles. You saw Wheeler flying off the wing, limiting him to a gain of 2 and up to the 22-yard line. Now the defense, and here is a terrific player, Lamar Houston. He was the AFC's Defensive Player of the Week after his performance last week against Jacksonville. The rookie linebacker, Miles Burris, has emerged and has become a key member of the Raiders defense, a 3-down linebacker. After switching from safety to cornerback, Michael Huff is coming off probably his best game of the season. Tough to make that transition, but he's done it. Here's a 2nd down and 8 for the Chiefs on their 2nd possession. McCluster, Moriarty trying to throw a block. And finally wrestled out of bounds at Tyvon Branch. It is a gain of about 2 after all that run, and working his way to the 24.
This is a great play. Watch Tyvon Branch. He comes clear from the other side of the field, and he closes in on one of the fastest players the Chiefs can put on the football field on the offensive side. Look at the hit and the close. That's just hitting and hustling. You love to see that from defensive players. Tyvon Branch has plenty of it.
5th-year player from UConn. He has started every game in his NFL career. Here is a 3rd and 6. They stay in the nickel, and Andre Carter has come on that defensive line. Winston, a good block at the right tackle. Quinn on the move, needs the 30. He's got the 1st down. Brought down by Branch. Spot him at the 36. Brady Quinn scrambling for 12 and a Kansas City 1st down.
This is just a great play by Brady Quinn. I know it's not a throw. He gets it done with his legs. He knows they're in man-to-man coverage. When the defender's back are turned to you, you take off and run it. Because over the last 2 weeks, the Oakland Raiders defense, they've only allowed 3 of 27 3rd down plays to be converted into 1st downs.
Bill O'Keefe on the line, Desmond Bryant on the line, getting those starters a blow on that defensive line for the Raiders. On a 1st and 10 handoff to Drone, who was grabbed around the ankle by Carter and brought down. Carter had 10 sacks a year ago for New England, was out of football, signed by the Raiders. They're going to put him Solomon at the 36.
Yeah, Carter just did one excellent play, turning Drone back inside to the other 10 defenders. Had he gotten outside, he'd still be running with the football. And I think if you're Kansas City, we know now they didn't score on that 1st possession of this game. They've gone 24 consecutive games without scoring a touchdown on the opening drive. They have to be patient, but more than anything, Quinn has to make plays throwing the football. And again, they can't turn it over, something that really has hurt them all season long.
Hillis in motion, 2nd down and 9. Some confusion, it appears, for setting up that play. Again, under traffic is the quarterback, who runs up to the 43, a 6-yard gain right there by Quinn on the heels of a 12-yarder moments ago.
One of the things I've noticed in Quinn's first start for the Chiefs a couple of weeks ago against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is Brady Quinn makes very quick and rapid decisions. He's getting the ball out of his hands quickly, and as you saw right there, when he has to tuck and run it, he makes a decision. He's very decisive. Remember Eric Winston, his right tackle, talked about it. He has short drops, and he does move rather quickly with the football.
Donald Stevenson has come in, a rookie out of Oklahoma. He's an extra offensive lineman. 3rd down and 3. Here they come. Charles knocked out of bounds by the linebacker Burris. We just talked about him. They're going to put him at the 38. They lose 4. The Chiefs have got to punt the ball.
Dennis Allen loves 56 Burris. Watch Burris tracks down his coverage clear to the other side. And he does not allow Jamal Charles to get away and shake loose. Pressure on Brady, forcing the quick and early throw, and tight coverage on the back end by the linebacker Burris.
Colquitt to punt for a second time. 6 plays punt. The first possession, 3 plays punt. Deep back is Phillip Adams. Clock here is at 5:47. Bill Vinovich is our referee today. The biggest play so far has been a 58-yard catch and run by Denarius Moore.
Prior to the penalty, timeout, Oakland. First charge timeout.
Raiders take time. They're on top on a Janikowski 36-yard field goal and 5:47 in the first quarter. Raiders took a timeout. Chiefs are going to punt for a second time. Raiders on top on a 36-yard field goal. That's Phillip Adams, who was let go and camped by Seattle. He's on the left, and Colquitt's going to punt for a second time for the Kansas City Chiefs from the famous Colquitt punting family.
They know punting.
They do.
More than anyone.
They do. Their dad taught them. Longtime punter in Pittsburgh. Adams from the 12. And brought down on the play. Looked like Greenwood got him. Yep, Corey Greenwood on that. Special teams brings him down after a 49-yard punt and a 5-yard return. It's Darren McFadden and the Raiders with it next here on CBS.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Verizon. Now more than ever, Droid does. And by Geico, where 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Union Station, downtown Kansas City, and there is a guy who can run like a train from time to time. Darren McFadden, although struggling this year, 1st and 10, and here he goes outside. Patoa Tui has a hand on him. After Kansas City punted after 6 plays, a 4-yard gain, Solomon, to the 21.
Yeah, and Darren McFadden has to get it going. And you can see what he did last year, and he really was off to a great start before that Liz Frank injury on his foot. And since then, as you can see in the 2012 season, his numbers are way down, averaging just 3.1 yards a carry, only 2 rushing touchdowns, and only 3 100-yard games since the start of the 2011 season.
Including this year against Pittsburgh. In that game, he had a 64-yard run. Here's a 2nd down and 6 now for the Raiders on their 3rd possession. McFadden out of Arkansas. Patoa Tui jumping on him. Hali is there as well. It's a gain of 4. And up to the 25. How much are you putting on the offensive line, the struggles of McFadden?
See, I think that's a really good point, because I think it's a number of things. Yes, it is the offensive line. Remember, they've had a lot of movement up front. Wisniewski missed the entire preseason, the entire training camp. He's playing at a new position, moving from guard to center. And they've had a lot of moving parts on the offensive line, as you mentioned, Khalif Barnes and others. So I think when you have wide receivers who are out, who are also not blocking or participating in the running game, your run game's going to struggle.
With 6 in the secondary, 3rd down and 2. McFadden is brought down. Eric Berry coming through along with Derek Johnson, the 2 right there, stopping that play. It's a loss of 4. Back to the 21. The Raiders are going to punt.
Now watch Willie Smith, 79. He gets blown up on this play as much as the running back, Darren McFadden. Take a look at the right tackle. And this isn't Khalif Barnes. Watch, he gets knocked back into his runner. And so what do you do if you're Darren McFadden when your blockers are getting just knocked right back into you? They can't even get you back to the line of scrimmage.
Here's the best punter in the last decade in the NFL, Leckler, who really has a tough one right there. Good bounce for the Chiefs. Javier Arenas on his feet, and Tollefson jumps on his back and brings him down near the 49. That's a 43-yard punt, a 13-yard return. The Chiefs have had it twice, punting both times. Number 3 coming up for Brady Quinn. Back at Arrowhead, get coverage of every NFL game with NFL Mobile. Call ** NFL. That's 635 to download NFL Mobile. Go to NFL.com/mobile to learn more. Solomon Wilcots, Kevin Harlan, Arrowhead Stadium. Chiefs have had it twice. 3 plays punt, 6 plays punt. Romeo Crennel with a 1-5 team coming into today.
And they still haven't scored a touchdown in the first quarter. And they've gone. They're the only team in the NFL who hasn't done that. And they've got to be able to score and score early.
They've been outscored now like 54-6 in the first quarter. First down and 10. A block by Hillis. A fumble on the play after a big-time hit by McClain and recovered on the play by Moiaki. The loss back to the 42. It's a loss on the play of 7.
Well, you said Brady Quinn has to decide things quickly, and he should see McClain coming here. He tries to step up in the pocket, but he doesn't protect the football. And that's what quarterbacks have to do. When you feel traffic coming, it's always 2 hands on the ball, not 1 hand on the ball. That ball came out, and obviously the Chiefs were able to recover it, but they're very fortunate to do so. Turnovers, we said, has been a problem.
Absolutely. They've had 19 turnovers. Chiefs on a pace for more than any other team in the last 30 years. It's second down and 17. Low snap right there from Littlejohn. And from Moiaki, that is intercepted by Matt Giordano. Breaking a bow tackle with an entourage ahead. There was a block by Branch and a tackle made by Bow. Now each quarterback has thrown an interception. Giordano returns that for 22 to the Kansas City 44.
Well, this one's just an overthrow by Brady Quinn. You've got to be able to hit the wide receiver, and watch, Giordano's going to come here, and they're trying to hit right in the soft spot of that zone. And Quinn has him. Now, right now, cut it loose. But you overthrow it. Giordano breaks on it. He comes away with the pick. You talked about turnovers being the Achilles heel of this football team. Boy, quarterbacks, Matt Castle turned it over 14 times, the most of any player in the league, and now Brady Quinn contributing to the problems that have plagued this team all season long.
Matt Giordano led Oakland in interceptions a season ago with 5. Comes up with a big one right there. First of the year for him from the Chiefs 45. Palmer going deep and no one home. Hayward Bay was at the 26. The ball lands inside the 15, incomplete.
Or the turnovers are the thing that hold this team back. Now look at where they rank. Minus 15 turnover ratio. And right now you can see they're approaching some of the worst teams that have given it up in their first 6 games this season. Just 2 off the mark of an NFL record through their first 6 games. Yeah, they got to figure it out over there on the sideline. Quinn is going to have to figure it out. Or do you even think about putting Matt Castle back in the game if he continues to struggle?
Chiefs had a bye last week, a couple weeks ago against Tampa. Quinn threw 2 picks. Here's McFadden on second down and 10. Right there with the stop for Kansas City's defense after a gain of 3 was Anthony Toribio. Comes off the Green Bay roster.
You know, coming into this game, we talked about the fact the Chiefs have turned it over 21 times. Well, they've given up 68 points off those 21 turnovers. The defense have constantly been put in this position where they're playing on a short field trying to keep teams out of the end zone.
The Chiefs have 6 defensive backs. The Raiders facing 3rd and 7 after the Giordano interception.
Right 90.
Side, and with route defending, Hayward Bay, they say did not catch it, but the flag was thrown, and Route may have been holding him.
Well, Route has been known to draw a penalty flag or 2 in tight coverage. The Raiders know that.
Illegal contact. Defense number 26. 5-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
And this is why Carson Palmer said they wanted to attack him. They said he doesn't find the ball as well. You can see hand right there. And understand, it doesn't appear to be that much, but did he interfere? Yes, he was grabbing hold of the jersey of Hayward Bay as he's trying to come back to the ball, well beyond the 5-yard area where the league and the rules allow you to bump wide receivers.
Route had replaced Nnamdi Asomugha as the #1 quarterback before he was let go this spring. Asomugha went to Philadelphia. First down and 10 from the 38. McFadden. Brought down by Justin Houston. It is a gain of 4, and we'll put him at the Kansas City 33 with some pushing after the play. And Willie Smith, Big Willie style on that right tackle.
Well, you got to love Carson Palmer. He will go no huddle, as you see right now. And what he will do is he'll check to run plays. We saw it on a 64-yard touchdown run by Darren McFadden against the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're going no huddle here. And on that last play, he checked to the run game.
Second down and 6. Toribio stays on that line along with Jarrell Poe for Kansas City. For Moore. He's in a 58 pitch and run. He goes here down to the 16, wheeling his way into the grasp of Kendrick Lewis. A 17-yard catch and run and a first down.
This is where Palmer is at his best. He knows he's got man-to-man coverage. He's going to flip it out to Denarius Moore. His speed and ability to catch and run. We already seen one go for 58 yards earlier in the game, and there you see they're moving the chains. Palmer is more consistent, I think, going to Denarius Moore than going to Darius Hayward back.
It's 0-2. He brings down McFadden on 1st and 10. There's no gain on the play. They'll stay at the 17-yard line. So take a look at Moore. Yeah, they missed him early on. You know, they had a lot of no huddle last week, Solomon. The Oakland Raiders did against Jacksonville, and it was successful, especially in the second half.
Well, it puts the game in the hands of their quarterback, Carson Palmer. He grew up in this system in Cincinnati, posting huge numbers.
Raiders on the move. First quarter has come to a close. Janikowski a field goal. You're watching the NFL on CBS, home of Super Bowl 47. Well, our camera people are always watching that sideline. Matt Castle has been warming up, and Brady Quinn is nowhere to be found right now on the Kansas City sideline.
Well, he did take a hit on that interception. He was planted even in the ground on a play before that, when he was hit and fumbled when Rolando McClain rushed through to lay a lick on him.
This is the first play of our second quarter. After Moore caught and ran for 7, second down and 10. Algier holding off Patoa Tui. And right through the hands of his receiver, Denarius Moore. The coverage on the play by Lewis, 3rd and 10.
How about Carson Palmer extending the play with mobility, something we seldom see. Moving to his right. I thought he threw this ball very well to be on the move. Watch, only where his guy can get it, leads Denarius Moore perfectly. Hit him in the hands. Usually that's where you wanted to hit the wide receiver, but in that case, Denarius Moore couldn't hold on to it.
6 in the secondary. McFadden in the backfield. 3rd and 10 from the 17. Palmer almost picked off by Flowers. It looked like they were going for either Hagan or receiver Rod Streeter. They were both in the vicinity. Nonetheless, the Chiefs hold him out and allow the Raiders to try here for 3.
He's working against Streeter, number 80, coming in from here. Now watch this. There was some hand fighting. Flowers did not allow Streeter to get across his face. Right there. That's not Streeter, that's Hagan.
Yeah, but Streeter was about 5 yards cutting in front, but I think it was Hagan who was in the sides.
I think it was Hagan. That's who Flowers had to fit. But Flowers used his hands beyond the 5-yard bump area, and the officials didn't call it.
There's Janikowski. That is right down the middle from 35 yards away. The Raiders cash in on the Giordano interception. Castle may be coming back in with his Chiefs down 6-0. Janikowski has now made 41 consecutive field goals under 40 yards. He's kicked 2 today from 36 and 35. Each quarterback has been picked off. We think we're going to see a Kansas City quarterback change. We've just been told Quinn is in the locker room with a head injury. So Castle is up. And down the chute it goes from Janikowski, which drone will leave in the end zone to the 20-yard line. Matt Castle coming back out for the Chiefs.
Let's see how the crowd responds. Remember, there's a lot of chat around the Kansas City area as to whether or not they were cheering for Brady Quinn or booing when Matt Castle was injured. Comes back into the game. Crowd is a little bit ambivalent. Some fans here are cheering. And I've known this to be one of the best venues for fans and their love for football in the Kansas City area as Matt Castle comes back in unexpectedly for the Chiefs.
Hillis in the backfield, and Hillis gets the call on 1st down and 10. He was hit and brought down hard, hit on the play. Grabbed there by Bryant, gain of a yard to the 21.
Let's take a look at Brady Quinn. He was 2 for 4 before he left the game. You can see he's hit low right there by Tommy Kelly. Then planted into the ground by Rolando McClain. They did recover the fumble, then takes yet another hit on the last play by Matt Shaughnessy. He was intercepted on that play. Jersey dirty. They're testing him for a head injury is what we're told.
Charles is in. Coming into today, Castle, the worst-rated quarterback in the NFL. 2nd down and 9. That's incomplete. Gain is out to about the 29-yard line. Bo is twisted about 10 different ways. McLean makes the stop. It's a gain of 7 up to the 28.
Kevin, let's just go back and talk about Matt Castle. His struggles during the 2012 season. 14 turnovers, one more than Michael Vick coming into today's game. 9 interceptions, 5 fumbles, contributing drastically to that turnover problem that we talked about that really has hindered their ability to win football games. So now he comes in. We were told that he had the best attitude of anyone in practice this week.
Wildcat 3rd and 2, McCluster. Clock downfield by Bo. Brought down on the play by Hansen. A run and a first one to the 40-yard line by McCluster. 13-yard pickup.
This is something we saw in practice on Friday. Dexter McCluster working from behind center, taking the ball out of shotgun in the Wildcat. He's part receiver, he's part running back. You got to know he probably has thrown it a time or two as well, so you can get anything from Dexter McCluster in this Wildcat offense.
He always had kind of a problem. Where is he, a running back? Exactly. Is he a receiver? And he's going to do a lot of things. Has a lot of tools in his box from the 41st and 10. Castle. Bo. Chased on the play by Pat Lee. The stiff arm takes him to the 20. Surrounded, Wheeler catches up and brings him down. The catch and run down to the 13-yard line. A 46-yard completion.
Attitude is everything. Matt Castle has had a great attitude after being benched. And then he comes back. You have to wonder if he was throwing it to Bo because there was another receiver right there in his lane. But Bo streaks right across in front of Dexter McCluster and catches the ball as he's running away from defenders. We told you Dwayne Bowe was going to be needed by whoever was playing quarterback from the Chiefs to create big plays in the passing game.
He's a good one, an elite receiver, Dwayne Bowe. Down to the 13-yard line. 1st down and 10. And Charles got tripped up on the play. In fact, almost tripped over his own lineman, Allen. No gain on the play. They stay at the 13.
Now remember, the Chiefs have not led, not in regulation, at any point during the season. The touchdown here would give them a lead. Romeo Crennel is looking at how long they've been trailing. Wow, I can't even count that high in terms of the time they spent playing in games trailing on the clock.
And how about the slow starts? Now outscored 54-6 in first quarters this year.
Yeah, I think that's something they have to rectify, and they might want to start right now.
2nd down and 10. Into the nickel. So about the 12. Wrestled down on the play, and he picked up about a yard on the play, so he avoids the sack and gets a yard.
Well, one thing is, watch him once he tucks it and start to run. Yeah, you keep your vision up, but watch him. 2 hands on the ball before contact. You see that? That tells you he's learned something. Now, this Raider defense, Kevin, they've allowed scores on all 23, at least 23 consecutive red zone possessions. The Chiefs are inside the red zone. Let's see if they can put it in the end zone.
Burris made that last tackle. Drone in the backfield. 3rd and 9. 5 in the Oakland secondary. Almost intercepted. Knocked away. Branch was right there. He is a steady performer. Solid in the secondary. Incomplete pass. 4th and 9. The Chiefs will try for 3.
I think for the last year and a half, Tyvon Branch has been their best player on defense. Watch this. Just well timed as he comes in. Yeah, Wheeler's filling in from one side. 33. Tyvon Branch takes a hit from Philip Wheeler, I should say, but Branch is a tough player, making plays in that secondary.
Here's Suckup, who had a couple of field goals blocked by Seymour last year on Christmas Eve by the Raiders, trying a 30-yarder to put the Chiefs on the board, and he does. 10:21 to play in the second quarter. Well, Castle connects with Bowe on a 46-yard catch and run, setting up the field goal with 10:21 in the second. Solomon, the early story is Castle got him in field goal range as we've had teams in the red zone, but only settling for 3 and not for 6.
Now look at the first 3 possessions led by Brady Quinn, only 17 net yards of total offense. And Matt Castle comes in on his first possession. They go 68 yards in 8 plays to get the field goal. And so Matt Castle may end up being the guy for this team after all.
Here's Goodson, acquired in an offseason trade with Carolina. Well, bring it up. And hit on the play by Brandon Seiler among a couple in there for the Chiefs. A 23-yard return, some shoving after the play. And Tuesday on CBS, meet the new sheriff who's taming Vegas. Dennis Quaid stars in TV's #1 news show, Vegas. Tuesday, only on CBS, 10 Eastern, 9 Central. On the 20-yard line, here's Carson Palmer with another possession, 1st and 10.
Yeah, and I think it surprises me how well Carson Palmer has played. Remember, all offseason they said if Darren McFadden in the running game isn't going, Carson Palmer can't play well. He's carried this team with all the movement on the offensive line, injuries to wide receivers, 295+ yards in 4 of their 6 games this season.
First and 10, McFadden. And he's going to dance outside with Derek Johnson. He's close to the first down. He runs up to about the 29. And he'll pick up 9 on that first down play.
Yeah, McFadden, whether he's running it or catching it. Remember the Week 1 contest against San Diego? We saw him touch the ball so many times, whether it was running or catching it. And his production has dropped since then. But so far today, they're doing a good job of getting him the ball, giving him opportunities to affect this ball game.
Second down, long 1.
Right 90. What's up?
And McFadden hit. Nice play by Derek Johnson, the leading tackler, in a loss of a yard on the play. When we've talked to Palmer in the past, it was interesting that he said what really kind of set him behind, obviously, was being traded midseason last year. He said this year he had the new coaching staff, the playbook, a full camp, a full off season. It's made a difference.
Oh, it has. And I think Dennis Allen and everyone with the Raiders know they're lucky to have a franchise quarterback like Palmer. And despite the movement on the offensive line, injuries to receivers, I think when we talked to him about it, what did he say? He said, well, hey, that's just my job. I have to go out and play well if we're going to win.
5 defensive backs, 3rd down and 3. Palmer for more. Route shoves into him. No yellow on the field. Incomplete pass. 4th and 3. 3 and out for the Raiders.
And Carson Palmer thinks he can make money by throwing that Stanford route. So far, they're coming up bankrupt, attempting to complete passes. Watch how route widens. Denarius Moore almost rides him out of bounds and is able to deflect that pass out of bounds. He's holding up in coverage right now against his former teammates.
The 7-time Pro Bowler Leckler to punt. He gets off a beauty right here, which forces Arias to make the catch at the 19. Owen Schmidt rams him on the sideline, but a nice return by the Kansas City player out of Alabama. 27-yard return. Matt Castle and the Chiefs come out. Coming up next, 2nd quarter, down by 3. Boy, some steady quarterback play would be huge for the Chiefs.
Oh, they certainly need it from Matt Castle, Kevin, and he has this opportunity. And by all accounts, is that his attitude has been really good around the clubhouse and with his teammates, and he's going to need to focus on protecting the football, not turning it over, and getting it into the end zone.
Looking at the nickel, 1st and 10 for Castle. Collapsing and down he goes. Seymour coming in, making the sack. He had one last week against the Jaguars. Loss of 3, put him back at the 43.
One of the things that, remember, right tackle Eric Winston told us that, hey, first of all, he and Matt Castle have become very close. He said, but what he liked about Brady Quinn is that Quinn would drop shorter in the pocket. It made it easier on the tackles. He said that Matt Castle tends to drop back a little too far, made it a little bit more prone to sacks, as we saw right there, even though I didn't think he was really deep in the pocket on that play.
Now 4 in the secondary for a 2nd and 13 from Kansas City. John Baldwin one-on-one with Pat. They get Adams out there with the stop. Phillip Adams. And a 7-yard gain on the throw to the 1st-round pick out of Pitt. He's up to the 50.
I think if you're the Chiefs, you got to get more out of your weapons around them. They're giving Castle just an easy throw, try to get the easy completion, allow Baldwin to shake a defender loose. Now they're facing 3rd and 6. Where do you go with the ball? Do you challenge a Michael Huff, someone who moved from safety to corner, not his natural position, playing out on an island, see if you can get him matched up against Dwayne Bowe at the bottom of the screen?
6 defensive backs on 3rd and 6 for Matt Castle. Quinn in the locker room, they're looking at a head injury. Bad snap from Lilja, block from Charles. He's got his receiver. First down to the 30-yard line, Tony Moiaki. A 20-yard pickup and a first down.
Oh, we told you that the Raiders have been very good last few plays, or I should say last 2 games on 3rd down. For Castle to pick this one up off the ground after the bad snap and hit Tony Moiaki over the middle of the field. I thought it was just a great heady play by the quarterback and really good tough catch by Tony Moiaki.
Mike Mitchell made the hit in the secondary. He remains in right now. There's a nickel back there. 1st and 10 for Castle at the 30 of Oakland. Albert, the good block at the left tackle. Castle. He's got the first down. Branch makes sure he gets no more than the 19. A scramble of 11. Another Chiefs first down.
How about the Chiefs? They've come out of nowhere and have come alive once Matt Castle has come into the ball game. This is his 2nd possession, and on the 2nd possession since he's come in the game, they're on the move and they're inside the red zone looking for points. He seemed to have brought something to this team that had been missing earlier in the game.
So on this drive, they got the 27-yard punt return by Arenas, a 20-yard pass moments ago to Moiaki, 11-yard run by Castle. First down and 10 from the 19 of Oakland. Charles cutting back, grabbed by McClain to the 15. Little shove after the play by Bryant after the gain of 4 by Jamal Charles.
This is that stretch run play. They want to get Charles out on the edge. Many of the defenders don't believe that he can run it up inside. Very slight in terms of his build. And now in comes Peyton Hillis. Everyone's been waiting for Peyton Hillis to get going because they expect him to be able to pound this running game on the inside, soften up the middle of that Oakland Raider defense.
He's missed the last 3 games with a high ankle sprain. He was injured last year with Cleveland, 2nd and 6. Hillis his way outside, hit on the play by Burris, the rookie linebacker out of San Diego State, to the 12 on a gain of 3.
All right, that was like a train wreck. Hillis meets Burris and McClain. Took on both linebackers. Take a listen to this one. Can you feel it, Kevin? Can you feel it?
I always feel when I'm next to you, man. You're talking about, this is the NFL. Down to the 12, 3rd and 3. And just 4 defensive backs. Castle was at the top of your screen. Hillis and McCluster were back there in the Wildcat, and the Raiders didn't like what they saw, and the Chiefs didn't like what they were lined up in. They called the timeout.
NFL on CBS is sponsored by KFC. Come in today and taste why fresh is better.
Well, they were in the Wildcat. The Chiefs called the timeout. They're down by 3, and they've got great position here at the Raider 12.
Oh, Romeo Cornell knows that his team right now has some momentum. Now that Matt Castle has come into the game, a touchdown would do them well. We told you already this team has struggled to score points when they've come in just averaging 17 points per game, 29th in the NFL.
Thrown in the backfield, 3rd down and 3. Oh boy, an avalanche of defenders. Wheeler coming through, Tommy Kelly charging in, back to the 24. It's the 3rd sack given up. A loss of 11.
So many Raiders in the face of Matt Castle in that backfield. It's like a team meeting. There are so many guys just pouring in. They just sort of bull rush the Chiefs offensive line to get the hit on Matt Castle. Castle did a good job of holding on to the ball. Wheeler is another one of those Raiders linebackers really coming into his own.
He is 4 years with Indy and now in Oakland. Here is a 42-yard field goal try by Ryan Suckup to tie it. with 4:12 to play in the second. Big plays, the 27-yard punt return by Arenas and a 20-yard pass to Moiaki and a 42-yard field goal. To most experts, read most publications, they pick the Chiefs to win this division. Tremendous optimism coming out of camp. They're tied with the Browns coming into today with the worst record in the NFL at 1-5.
Yeah, they came in at 1-5, but guess what? They in this division, in the AFC West, where the best record is 3-3, they're still within striking distance as well. They've spent the entire bye week trying to hit the reset button, trying to evaluate what is it they can do to change the dynamic of the football team. They thought changing quarterbacks would do that, but they end up back with Matt Castle. Maybe Castle's change of perspective might help.
Mike Goodson will take it on the kickoff once again, trying to cut the corner and then shoved out of Browns on the near side by Jaleel Brown out of Colorado. 22-yard return. Well, coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report, join JB, Dan, Shannon Boomer, and Coach Bill Cowher for the latest news, scores, and highlights in the NFL. All coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report from our CBS studios in New York. Castle looking at the pictures sent from upstairs.
Yeah, they're trying to figure out what can they do in the red zone, Kevin, where they've gotten there 2 times in the 2 possessions since he's been in the game, but they had to settle for field goals. We're talking about 14 points instead of the 6 they have on the board right now.
Raiders coming into today 2-4 within a game of first place in the West. 1st and 10 on the 26. Palmer. McFadden. There's a block by Cooper Carlisle. A flag is thrown. Lewis shoves him out of bounds. It's a catch and run to about the 50, 24 yards, but that may come back, maybe on the Raiders. Would be their first penalty of the day.
After the catch, during the run, illegal block in the back. Offense, number 68. 10-yard penalty for the spot in the foul. Repeat first down.
Well, the Raiders are trying to get Darren McFadden going in this game. So far, they have not been able to do so. 10 carries, only 13 yards rushing in this ball game, well below his 3.1-yard average coming in to today's game. The Kansas City Chiefs have slammed the door shut on Darren McFadden. You can see 4-0 or negative rushing attempts. He's got to do better if this offense is going to catch fire.
Goodson in the backfield. Here's a 1st and 20 for Palmer. Goodson. Stopped by Derek Johnson. Nice play. No gain. They stay at the 15. You know, back to that penalty. Last season, Solomon, the Raiders set an NFL record with 163 penalties, over 1,300 yards. This year, only 41. That's number 21 in the NFL. So if Dennis Allen and his staff have done anything right, it is really curtailed the avalanche of penalties.
But they've had 21 penalties in their last 2 games. They had really curbed that trend in the first 4, but the last 2 has not been so good.
Fadden back in, 2nd down and 21. Here it come again. Houston almost had him. Brandon Myers, the tight end. And he chugs his way into the grasp of Javier Arenas. At the 44, it is a catch and run of 30, a career long for the tight end.
Watch this. This is where Carson Palmer earns his money. He had defenders draped around his waist, still threw a strike to Brandon Meyer, who on 3rd down has been money for his quarterback. You could see. It looked like Justin Houston had him in the sack right there.
Brandon Myers is the leading receiver for this team out of Iowa, and a favorite of Carson Palmer's. First and 10. Darren McFadden. Derek Johnson wraps his arms around his waist and brings him down. Gain of a yard to the 45.
Oh, this offensive line has to try to get some movement. Nothing is breaking right now up front for either offensive line. Dennis Allen said that we're going to continue to stick with the running game. They are not giving up on it.
Both teams with red zone opportunities settling for field goals. We're tied at 6 at the 2-minute warning. They've had nice finishes to first halves this year.
Look at what they've done in the final 2 minutes of the first half, where they've been able to score in every single game this year. And the reason why, I think Carson Palmer in the no huddle has been money for Dennis Allen and the Oakland Raiders.
2nd down and 8. Six defensive backs for the Chiefs. Myers again. Run out of bounds by the linebacker, Derek Johnson. That's a gain of 4. He's up near midfield. And coming up, the Verizon halftime report being put together for you right now in our CBS studios. JB and company with scores, highlights, and news. A busy week in the NFL all coming up on the Verizon halftime report from New York.
Now, does Carson Palmer continue to go after Stanford out? He told us that they felt they can make plays against them. They said it felt like he didn't find the ball or track the ball in the air as much. I think the matchup they want is route on Denarius Moore and give Moore a chance to make a play.
Time secondary, 3rd and 4. Deflected. Coming through, I believe it was done. Tari Poe in the middle of the line, the #1 pick out of Memphis. He may have gotten a paw on it. Nonetheless, 4th down, the Raiders are going to punt.
They have a lot of #1 picks on this defensive line for the Kansas City Chiefs. There's Poe. He's there, but I think it was Derek Johnson.
I think you're right.
Number 56 who got a hand on it. Nonetheless, the Chiefs are happy someone was able to get a hand on it.
Leckler's last punt sailed 54 yards. He'll try to place this. And Javier Arenas inside the 20. He lost the ball. It's loose. He called for the fair catch. I think the Raiders have got it, and they do. John Kondo, the Pro Bowl long snapper, vacuums it in. And the Raiders have taken it away from the Chiefs for the 2nd time today.
Boy, we talk about turnovers, and it's been the Achilles heel. A muff punt by Javier Arenas. Kondo gets on it, robbing the Chiefs of momentum, putting the opposing offense, in this case the Raiders, on a short field, and it forces the defense. It puts great stress on them now after getting a stop to come back on the field and try to keep the Raiders out of the end zone. This is how turnovers can undermine a great effort for any football team.
On the 11, 1st and 10, McFadden back there, and he gets the call. Hit by Tamba Hali. Gain of about 2 to the 9.
How about Tamba Hali trying to get his defense fired up? Romeo Corneo's defense has played well this season. When you consider, though, all the turnovers and all the times they've had to come in these kind of situations, Kevin, after committing a turnover on offense and playing on a short field. You can see Eric Berry, you could see Dorsey, you could see Tamba Hali trying to fire up the guys in red to keep Carson Palmer and the Raiders from putting points on the board.
Arenas back out there, 1 of 6 defensive backs. 2nd down and 8. Caught out of bounds by Jerron Kreiner, the rookie out of Arizona. And the coverage on the play by Stanford Rock. Well, you were right. Top of the broadcast, he said they were going to work on route, and boy, have they picked on it.
Route's getting some work, but he's putting in an A+ grade right now, but he's against a rookie. And I don't know that Kreiner's a match. He drifts out of bounds. You've got to be able to stem that route 3 yards away from the out-of-bounds line. That way you give yourself a chance to fade toward the ball and still have room to get both feet in bounds.
Each team with a couple timeouts. Here is the 3rd down and 8 for Carson Palmer. To the end zone, touchdown. Denarius Moore. That was a beauty. Right down the middle. 9-yard touchdown strike by quarterback Carson Palmer, working after the fumble by Arenas on the punt.
And it's route and coverage against Moore. And that's the matchup I think they wanted all along. And they had route against Darius Hayward-Bay. They had route against Kreiner. Now they have route against the receiver they feel can win the battle with Denarius Moore. And Moore does win the battle, and Moore gets the touchdown. Those are the muff punt by Javier Arenas that allowed the points in the first place. Had he was able to fill the punt, well, the Chiefs wouldn't be in this situation.
Janikowski, I don't know why you said Gilbert Arenas. The NBA season starts this week.
That's right, and we love the NBA.
Denarius Moore right back there. His 4th touchdown reception of the season. And the Raiders on top. Is just god-awful. They're number 32 in turnover margin. They're averaging 2.5 turnovers a game, and that's right where they're at today.
I think after Quinn's interception, they were able to the Raiders were able to get a field goal, and then after the muffed punt by Javier Arenas, the Raiders were able to get a touchdown. So 10 of the 13 points the Raiders have scored have come off Chiefs turnovers.
Right before halftime, too, when such a psychological edge can be gained. Here's Drone leaving it in the end zone underneath of the 20-yard line. Castle back out there because of the head injury to our starter, Brady Quinn. They had made a change early in the week. Quinn replacing permanently, they thought, Castle.
I think he was injured on this play. Look, he's sacked and driven right into the turf by Rolando McClain. Watch this. He's just driven right into the turf. He did continue to play. The snap after that, throwing an interception, going 2 of 4. But then he goes out of the game, and all Matt Castle does is on his 2 possessions, he leads the Chiefs to 2 field goals.
Brunell said the quarterback change was meant to get the attention of the team. First down and 10. Castle, McCluster, the hit by the linebacker Philip Wheeler. He's on a Georgia Tech up to the 33-yard line, 13-yard catch and run. 2 timeouts for the Chiefs, 2 timeouts for the Oakland Raiders. First and 10. Jamal Charles. Led by a couple, including Lee and Hansen. Joselio Hansen makes the stop. They're going to call a timeout here up to the 37-yard line. That is a gain on the play of 4. We'll take a timeout 2 in the first half clock at 23 seconds. Timeout remaining for Kansas City and quarterback Matt Castle. 23 seconds remaining in the first half. Second down and 5. Castle, Moiani near midfield. Right in front of Hansen. Touched by Wheeler. 13-yard pickup right there. First down and a timeout. Timeout was taken by Kansas City. Now they've burned all 3. 12 seconds left.
Yeah, I think after completing that pass, then Matt Castle and obviously Romeo Crennel wanted to use that timeout, see if they can get a shot at maybe a field goal attempt with one more big pass completion. The Kansas City Chiefs are just, you know, they play well, I think, in spurts, but the turnovers, it just takes away their momentum and the positive energy.
Well, Crennel told us on Friday that turnovers affect the momentum of the team. You've talked about it. You start pressing, you dig a little bit deeper. You know, you do things that you normally don't do to try to make up for the problems.
Yeah, and let's face it, they were going toe-to-toe with the Raiders until the muff punt by Javier Arenas, the second turnover of the game.
Castle's gone 7 of 8, first and 10 right here. Boyd the rush, moving up in the pocket, throwing that baby about, well, almost a row up in the stands. Castle was hit hard.
Oh, he was spiked to the ground. Desmond Bryant. Yes.
Second down and 10 coming up, 6 seconds to play in the half. Watch this.
Number 90. Trying to throw it away. It did take him down.
Well, the good news is it wasn't to his head when he missed the 9 games after being hit in that Baltimore game a couple weeks ago.
Absolutely. And boy, if you lose Matt Castle, now you're scraping the bottom of the barrel. With both quarterbacks out.
Second down and 10. Trying to get in field goal range here now with the rush from Branch, and that is fluttering incomplete. No flag on the field. 2 seconds left.
Well, they're getting hits on Castle. This is a rivalry, an old AFC West rivalry. That's a clean one by Tyvon Branch. Didn't lunge at the head, no forcible blow, but certainly one that will be felt by Matt Castle.
You and I talked to Branch a couple weeks ago down in Miami. We talked about his steady play and what he means to this team. And they're going to reset the game clock to 2 seconds. And all, of course, this comes in the wake of the most extensive, the largest overhaul in the history of the Raider organization. The passing of Al Davis, the hiring of a general manager, Reggie McKenzie from Green Bay, and a new coach in Dennis Allen.
And the purge of even some players that they felt like they wanted to keep, but for salary cap reasons, couldn't keep.
They're going to sit on it right there. Yeah, gone. Michael Bush, Rout, Lewis Murphy, Cam Wembley, Chaz Schillens. Jacoby Ford's injured, still on the team. But the boos cascade down on the Chiefs, who go to halftime trailing the Raiders 13-6. Watching the NFL on CBS, the home of Super Bowl 47. Raiders getting a touchdown just before halftime and on top over the Chiefs, getting ready to start the third, 13-6. Time now for the Droid Razor M play presented by Motorola. Javier Arenas off in the punt. Kondo, the Pro Bowl long snapper, retrieving it. And then they had the 9-yard touchdown pass from the quarterback, Carson Palmer. Turnovers by the Chiefs. There are a lot of headlines coming out of that first half.
Yeah, and I think none bigger than the fact that with Brady Quinn being knocked out of the game in the first quarter, Matt Castle is now the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs, not by choice, but by necessity. And then on his first two possessions, he leads the offense down the field to get 2 field goals and seemingly get back into the game. But it is the turnovers by the Chiefs that's added 10 points on the board for the Oakland Raiders. 5
consecutive Raider wins here at Arrowhead over the Chiefs, and through 30 minutes of football, here are some of the numbers.
Yeah, as you can see, the turnovers, I think, continue to plague the Kansas City Chiefs. They've turned it over 2 times in the ball game, and so if you're the Chiefs and you're giving points to the Raiders, that means in the second half, Matt Castle's now got to be able to come out. He's got to be able to make some plays in this ball game. He's got to be able to get his team back on the right track and try to win a game at home where the Raiders have come in and won 5 straight at Arrowhead.
Janikowski belts that out of the end zone. Here comes Castle. Here come the Chiefs. We have not seen Quinn since he went back to the locker room, but we are told his return to the game is improbable, and so Castle is there. Their third quarterback, Ricky Stanzi, is inactive today. Castle himself coming off a concussion a couple weeks ago where he missed 9 days. So the Chiefs begin this second half, 1st and 10 from their 20, with Charles in the backfield. Right off the bat, it's loose, and the Raiders have gotten the ball. 3rd turnover by Kansas City. 3 turnovers, all in their own territory. What a disaster.
Castle never got it from the center, Jeff Allen. This is just center quarterback exchange. Looked as though Castle should have had the ball. As you can see at the bottom of the pile, the Raiders recovered. It is the Chiefs' 3rd turnover of the game. They had already come in today's game with 21 turnovers, most in the National Football League, and now they give the Raiders the ball on a short field, putting their defense in a really bad situation. There you can see at the bottom of the pile. Can't tell who recovered it for the Raiders, but you can see a white jersey has it clearly.
Castle's 6th fumble. And the Raiders given a gift here at the 18 of the Chiefs. It's the 3rd consecutive week on Kansas City's first second half possession. They've turned it over.
You can't plan that.
Denarius Moore. About the 10-yard line by Belcher and others. That's an 8-yard gain. The secondary, Kendrick Lewis, was there as well.
Wow. Well, if you're Romeo Crennel, whatever the halftime speech was, and you turn it over on the first possession in the second half for 3 consecutive games. Just don't know how you can go ahead and get yourself out of that situation. Makes it very tough to win football games when you hand the ball over on a short field to the opponent.
We saw the center, Lilja. The normal left guard is Lilja, but they had to move him over because of an injury. 2nd down, long 2 off of Denarius Moore. The coverage on the play by Brandon Flowers. Moore is the one who caught that 9-yard touchdown pass acrobatically in the end zone.
You can see Carson Palmer trying to get the ball on a quick slant to Moore. Moore's dropped a couple of those. He had one in the end zone go right off his hands in that slant play. It's a pass that hit him right in the hands, but he's unable to hold on to it.
It's 3rd and long 2. 5 in the Kansas City secondary.
What's that?
They've been tipped at the line. It's incomplete. They're going outside for Rod Streeter, the rookie out of Temple. It's incomplete. 4th down. They're going to try for 3.
Well, I think what Carson Palmer was anticipating, back shoulder throw. You get the cornerback on top, bailing out. Then you're supposed to stop the route and break it down. That's what Carson Palmer was anticipating. He's working with a lot of young, inexperienced wide receiver. Greg Knapp telling Streeter the same thing. It was supposed to be a back shoulder fade.
29-yard try by Sebastian Janikowski, who's knocked one in from 36, from 35, and this one is true from 29. They cash in on the Castle fumble, the third Kansas City turnover. And they extend their lead with 13:58 to play in the third at Arrowhead. 3 field goals by Janikowski. They've turned 3 Kansas City turnovers, the Raiders have, into 13 points, but in 4 red zone possessions by Oakland, just 1 touchdown in those 3 field goals. And here he comes again. It thrown from about 8 yards deep, and he'll bring it out. Looking for some kind of spark for this team. Then hit by the tight end, Richard Gordon, who's missed some games with a hamstring issue. 30-yard return. Well, are we headed towards a recovery or a recession? Answers from a swing state, plus the NFL team owner with the unique American success story. Only on 60 Minutes tonight, and only on CBS.
Kevin, I'm going to give it to you because we talked about the turnovers. Here's what turnovers do. It robs you of your ability to finish off drives. It negates the successful production you've had in the running game. It puts stress on your defense, who's allowed 30 points per game, and it puts the opposing offense on a short field. So in no way you can play a complete game when you continue to turn it over.
It's Charles on 1st and 10. Shaughnessy along with Seymour kind of ride him out of bounds. It's a loss of about 2 on the play as we take you to New York and James Brown.
Dallas finally on the board. After throwing 3 interceptions for Dallas, Tony Romo finally gets them in the end zone, hands off to Felix Jones. He goes in from 4 yards out. 23-7. New York Giants on top of the Dallas Cowboys, Kevin and Solly.
You're better than 23-0. That's what it was just moments ago.
2nd down and 12. Those 2 teams, Cowboys and Giants, met on the opening Wednesday of the season in the Meadowlands. Castle with the Winston right tackle block. This is the tight end, Jake O'Connell out of Miami of Ohio, a 7-yard catch and run, then spot him up at the 26-yard line.
Yeah, I think these are the things that the Chiefs have to do to get back into this game. You're going to have to take some shots down the field, but by working underneath, it allows the defense to creep up closer to the line of scrimmage. You've got to try to find a way to get the ball to Bo deep down the middle of the field. You've got to get the run game going, whether it's Jamal Charles, whether it's Peyton Hillis, whether it's Dexter McCluster and the Wildcat. You've got to mix and match to try to keep this defense of the Raiders off balance.
5 in the secondary, drawn at the side of Castle. 3rd down and 5. He's got the time. Kelly was on his track, and there's a pass to Moriarty. Ridden out of bounds by Lamar Houston. And the catch and run of 10 yards. They're going to put him at the 37. That's a 1st down for the Chiefs.
This is just a great play by Tony Moriarty. And look, he's blocking right here, but then watch him detach as Castle starts to roll out. And then so he separates from the line of scrimmage and makes himself a viable option to catch the ball and run for a 1st down after initially blocking in pass protection.
Chiefs have just officially released the news that Brady Quinn will not return, and he is still in the locker room. 1st and 10. That's deflected and almost picked off. Deflected inside, they got up in his grill. It's an incomplete pass, bringing up 2nd down and 10. Right up the middle.
They're getting some hits on Matt Castle today. We talked about that in the first half. There, you can see that ball batted down by Lamar Houston. But, you know, we're still trying to find out who's the 3rd quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs. Remember, Ricky Stanzi was inactive. He was put on the inactive list. We've already seen Dexter McCluster run the Wildcat. He could end up being the guy if they can't keep Matt Castle in the game.
2nd down and 10 with Hillis in the backfield. They lost their helmet. Big run up the middle. Hillis brought down by Matt Giordano. Dragged to the 46 of the Raiders. 17-yard gain and a 1st down.
He's the center, Jeff Allen. He loses his helmet. Oh, there it is right there, but look at the hole. Wow. It was a nice gaping hole. Right off the left side of that offensive line. This is what we talked about, Kevin. Give him some Jamal Charles. Give him the hammering abilities of Peyton Hillis. And a little bit of speed of Dexter McCluster to keep the defense off balance.
Couple tight ends, 1st down and 10. Castle underneath O'Connell. Tripped up by Huff and finally tapped that time by Burris. That's an 11-yard reception. That by the tight end, another first down.
Well, Huff did what we call an Olay. I don't know about a trip. Look at number 24. He's coming right in at O'Connell. Look, right here. Make that tackle. He just, you know, sort of like a bullfighter, right? The little Olay. Yeah. Didn't quite get that tackle. And Huff's a much better player than that. Romeo Cornell's found something in his offense right now. Is on the move.
Couple tight ends remain. First down and 10. Charles. Slipping by McLean. Tackled by Pat Lee as he wheels his way to the 27 of Oakland, a gain of 8.
And then we got flag, a late flag. Yeah, very late.
10-yard penalty.
Wow.
Repeat first down.
I think he's at 71. That would be the rookie out of Illinois, Jeff Allen.
Hurting him today. And you could, that was a flag thrown. That hold occurred well after Jamal Charles had broken beyond the line of scrimmage and was in the secondary.
You know, Chiefs Solomon trying to find a way to energize the passing game before today when they had a 46-yard catch and run for Bo. Their longest pass play of the season was just 33 yards.
Yeah, they've got to attack down the field. Bo is a guy that can get deep. How about Preston? He's in the game now at the bottom of your screen. He's a guy that can also get deep.
He only has 3 receptions all season long.
Not a lot of work.
I know it. First and 20. Hey, for Preston. How about that? And he drops the ball.
Whoa. Are you kidding me?
He drops the ball at the Oakland 20. Incomplete pass.
Wow. That's why not many catches, I guess. You just gave the numbers. You've got to make this catch for your quarterback, Matt Castle. He came wide open, Kevin. Watch this. How do you not make that one?
Giordano was in back of him, and he had Lee in front of him, and the ball is dropped.
Lonely walk back to the huddle when you let those go.
Four defensive backs, 2 tight ends for the Chiefs. Second down and 20. Low snap from Wilcott. Underneath, Hillis, drilled by the linebacker Philip Wheeler. It is a gain of 4 to the 41.
It is Wheeler, who's played really well. He and Miles Burris, the nickel linebackers, staying on the field. They take Rolando McClain off the field. And both Wheeler and Burris are so much more adept of making plays against the pass, playing in space, locked up in coverage, as you saw in the play from Wheeler right there.
Third and 16, now is 6 in the secondary. They need the 25. Long way to run. Well short. Field goal range. He's down at the 34. Castle running. Those 6 yards probably got him into a chance to kick a field goal.
Yeah, Wheeler and Burris, we talked about the drops that they have in their zone coverage forces Matt Castle to eat this ball. He can't throw it. He throws it. It's going to be an interception. He's forced to tuck it and run to set up the field goal.
There's a 52-yard field goal. The 2 that were blocked last year that we mentioned back in the first half were both long field goal attempts by Suckup. Here's a 52-yard try. He's made 11 consecutive field goals. Make it 12 in a row. Trying for number 13 right here from 52. Yes, sir. They had a 10-yard catch and run from the tight end Moiaki. A 17-yard run by Hillis. An 11-yard pass to the tight end O'Connell. A 52-yard field goal closes the gap on the Raiders. River is right through those trees right there. Lewis and Clark ventured down there. Raiders have come into Kansas City with 5 consecutive wins at Arrowhead Stadium, leading 16-9, although Suckup just hit a 52-yard field goal, and here's the ensuing kickoff. Mike Goodson leaving it in the end zone to the 20-yard line with a touchback. It'll be 1st and 10 for Carson Palmer and the Raiders, and Wednesday in primetime. JB, Phil Simms, and Chris Collinsworth showcase America's favorite game with their own unique style. Inside the NFL, Wednesdays on Showtime. 1st and 10.
Carson Palmer now has to get something going. Seems like whenever Matt Castle comes in the game, something happens. Since Castle's come in, the Chiefs offense hasn't had to punt the ball yet. And now if you're Carson Palmer, to take the crowd out of it here at Arrowhead, where you've won 5 consecutive games, at least the Raiders have, Palmer has been the one consistent thing for this Raiders offense.
Paul and Patelatui on that defensive line for Kansas City. First down and 10. McFadden. Brizell with a block. Streeter with a block. The tackle made by Kendrick Lewis. That's a run of 19 yards and a good one for McFadden. He's up to the 39.
Well, you come in with a 31st ranked rushing attack, you sooner or later got to get it going. Look at Myers, the tight end, getting a block to spring Darren McFadden. That's been one of the problems too. They felt like their tight ends aren't really game changers in terms of run blocking. The ability to change the line of scrimmage and help those offensive linemen, I think, is really important if you're going to be successful running the ball.
19-yard gain right there. Only had 17 yards before that. Here's a 1st and 10. Here's the aforementioned Myers, brought down in the secondary by Kendrick Lewis. 16-yard hit, little bit of a run down to the 45 of the Chiefs. Another first down.
Well, Brandon Myers came in leading the Oakland Raiders in receptions. Of course, 15 of his 28 receptions have come in the fourth quarter. He's been money there. But he's been the most consistent thing when it comes to catching the ball, where the wide receivers have struggled around Carson Palmer. Brandon Myers at tight end, he's been very consistent.
And he's had a game where he had 7 catches last week against Jacksonville. Most of his damage has been done in the fourth quarter. He's one of the top fourth quarter receivers in the NFL. Playing the tight end position, McFadden on 1st and 10. And runs into a block right there, and then hit by Javon Belcher on a gain of 2 to the 43.
The wide receivers have even struggled today. Darius Hayward-Bay, first play of the game. He doesn't go up, contest for the ball. Denarius Moore dropped what could have been a touchdown here on a quick slant. Puts another one on the ground that should have been caught. And so Carson Palmer needs these receivers to step up and make plays. More of the balls have been caught by tight ends and running backs today.
Chiefs have gone to 6 in the secondary from the 43-yard line. The Oakland Raiders 2nd down and 8. Don't hear the block at the left tackle. That's caught by Streeter, who is held onto by Stanford Rout. And that's a gain of 9. Streeter, the rookie out of Temple, undrafted, his first catch today.
How about Streeter being a quick learner? He was just chided by the offense coordinator, Greg Knapp, as well as Carson Palmer, who I don't know how he keeps his calm when Streeter didn't hit the back shoulder stop fade on the previous possession. He learned by making the play there.
1st and 10 from the Kansas City 34. On this drive, McFadden has run for 19. Myers caught and ran for 16. Streeter right there for about 10. McFadden knifing his way and tripped up on the play. It looked like maybe Poe is the one to trip him up in a meager gain of 2 down to the 32-yard line.
Yeah, we talked to Dennis Allen about Carson Palmer. You know, most quarterbacks, they go no huddle. You let them start calling plays. Now everything's going to be a pass play. And he said, well, not with Carson Palmer. He said he's very unselfish. He reads the defense. He counts the numbers in the box. And if they have the number advantage, he will check to a run and allow Darren McFadden to make a play.
2nd down and 8. Darius Hayward-Bay. Myers trying to throw a block, and that is an Oakland touchdown.
Oh, these wide receivers must have heard us say something, Kevin. We get a play from Rod Streeter, the rookie. We get a play from Darius Hayward-Bay, who I thought allowed the interception on the first play of the game. Look at this. Stop shoulder, he breaks the tackle from Stanford Rout and then sets sail, breaking other tackles to get it into the end zone. Just sheer determination by Darius Hayward-Bay.
His first catch today is good for a 32-yard touchdown. That drive started back on the Raider 20. Told you about the 19-yard run by McFadden. Kind of got him some momentum. The tight end chipped into the 16-yard catches. Little extra point there by Janikowski. Then the 32-year-old, 10-year veteran Carson Palmer to Darius Hayward-Bay. A 32-yard touchdown pass. CBS, Two Broke Girls meet Cedric the Entertainer. Catch a new episode of the hit comedy Two Broke Girls. That's tomorrow, and it's only on CBS. Darius Hayward-Bay was the number 7 pick out of Maryland 4 years ago. He led the team in receptions last season in Oakland with 64 catches. This year, he's got 14. He just got his 2nd touchdown nab. He raced 32 yards, and that was a touchdown. The ensuing kickoff. And here comes Sean Drone. Brought down by Pat Lee. And also as a 34-yard return. Also hit by Brandon Ross, who comes off the Green Bay practice squad for the Raiders. A lot of Green Bay players on here because of Reggie McKenzie, the new GM.
Holding. Receiving team number 97. 10-yard penalty. Kansas City keeps the ball. First down.
That is
Timeout.
Allen Bailey. Nice catch by Hayward Bay. Another touchdown pass by the quarterback Palmer, his second this afternoon.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Applebee's. Try Applebee's new Southwest Flavors 2 for $20 menu all season long. See you tomorrow. And by the all-new Honda Accord. It starts with you.
The Chiefs, who haven't held a lead in regulation in their 6 games coming into today. Trailing 23-9 on 1st and 10. Hillis, and he is wrapped up by the impressive rookie linebacker Miles Burris, allowing a gain of 2 to the 12.
Let's take a look at the touchdown to Darius Hayward Bay. He's going to catch this ball, and there's going to be a number of defenders right there. Let's freeze it. If you just hustle to the ball, you make the tackle. But look at Travis Daniels here. If he gets on his horse and he just is hustling, I think he makes the tackle. I think he prevents a touchdown. But look, at the last minute, he lightens up. And that's just, I think, teamwork defensively. Anytime you have a long catch and run, all 11 guys, someone's not hustling to the ball.
So the quarterback, Brady Quinn, a head injury in the first half. 2nd down and 8. Moving up again, needs the 20. It's the deck. Burris tucks him, and it's a gain of 4. We have asked the Chiefs PR who the backup quarterback would be now to Castle. In other words, with Stanzi inactive, if Castle should have to leave, who would take over? They've called the coaching staff, and the coaching staff won't give them an answer. So that means we can't give you an answer. Now you can guess. There's Terrence Copper. There's Dexter McCluster. I mean, there's a variety of guys they could use.
I think on an emergency basis, I think they'll deal with it when they get there. But that means Matt Castle has got to protect himself and stay in the ball game.
You got a guy a couple weeks off of a concussion.
Good point.
3rd and a long 4. Castle. Bo just about had it. Giordano was there to say hello at the 29. They got a punt.
That ball was thrown high, and Bo knew it. He goes up with one hand, tries to stop the point of the football. You stop that point, you can pull it in. But look, he knows Giordano's coming. He wants a flag on Giordano. I thought Giordano pulled up. It could have been worse.
You know, I mentioned before the Chiefs haven't had a lead in any game in regulation this year. The Raiders had held a lead for only 34 minutes in the first 6 games in regulation.
They come from behind to win their last 2.
The punt by Colquitt. Phillip Adams out of South Carolina State, the ex-Seahawk. And he's shoved out of bounds by Seiler, but into Kansas City territory, and here's a shove at the other end at the 40-yard line. They got Goodson, who is in the Chiefs sideline. Halloween is a couple days away, and to get the latest news, analysts will give you predictions like Pat Kerwin, Pete Prisco, other CBS Sports experts. When you watch Pro Football 360 Live, weekdays at 3 p.m. Eastern Time or on demand at cbssports.com/Pro Football 360. Great show. 4th start in Kansas City territory for the Raiders today.
Yeah, and they're money when they get the ball in the opponent's territory, where they've scored on all 6.
Palmer 1st and 10. Looking for Myers. He'll go underneath. Looking for McFadden. It's broken up right there by Brandon Flowers. 2nd down and 10.
Another drop pass from Carson Palmer. And Palmer continues the deal, and this is a nice looking play. Half rollout. They usually want to have a throwback on that one, but that went over to Darren McFadden. He doesn't hold on to it. But Palmer wanted more on that play, wanted to go downfield.
4 defensive backs, 2nd down and 10. Raiders coming in at 2 and 4. Kansas City at 1 and 5. McFadden. Open field tackle right there by Brandon Flowers. There's no gain on the play. They stay at the 45, bringing up 3rd and 10.
Yeah, they forced the 3rd and 10, and Chiefs got to be able to not just get off the field at this point in time. They're needing to get a turnover against this Oakland Raider offense. Dennis Allen's group understanding protecting the football at a time like this is very crucial. Romeo Crennel said it. Yeah, we turn the ball over, but we're not taking the ball away enough on defense.
6 defensive backs. 3rd down and 10. For Streeter, coverage by Flowers. Incomplete. 3 and out for Oakland.
Oh, Brandon Flowers, 24. He is just a really good cover corner, one of the better ones in the league. Look how he gets his head around early. What did he tell us? He spent the bye week going back home to Florida, visiting his little league football team where he grew up, and said something about watching the little guys play and having him come back. It means a lot to them, but it means a lot to him to be able to hit the reset button and regain a perspective.
Arenas fumbled the last time they punted. He's going to let this one go, and it goes right by Hagan, who is diving for that ball and trying to volleyball it back in. Leckler, a 45-yard punt, 1st and 10 Chiefs at their 20. Saturday, the Home Depot SEC on CBS delivers a day-night doubleheader. First, Ole Miss will take on number 10 Georgia. What a win by the Bulldogs yesterday. And in primetime, it's a rematch of last season's national title game when number 1 ranked Alabama and 6th ranked LSU collide. It all begins with college football today, next Saturday on CBS. What a day of college football yesterday. The Notre Dame win in Norman, the Georgia win in Jacksonville over Florida, the 2nd-ranked team.
And Alabama just beating up on everyone.
Yeah, they took care of 11th-ranked Mississippi State. You're right. Here's a 1st and 10 from Castle to Charles. Following an Allen block. Into the grasp of Javan Branch, and there's a flag thrown at the 20. It's a gain of 5 out to the 25. Tyvon Branch with the stop.
Holding. Offense, number 81. 10-yard penalty. Repeat 1st down.
Oh, the Kansas City Chiefs are just not able to run the ball today. What if I told you that Hillis, Matt Castle, and Brady Quinn all have more rushing yards than Jamal Charles right now? 5 carries, only 4 yards rushing for Jamal Charles. Came in averaging about 99 yards a game rushing the football.
All the optimism following this team into the season. I don't know how you can't get down after a game like this in a season that they've had to weather so far.
Coming off the bye.
Yeah, coming off the bye. 1st and 20. Another low snap by Lilja. It's McCluster, who's hit by the linebacker Philip Wheeler. It's a gain of 5, and he's up to the 15-yard line. It was interesting because a couple weeks ago, Scott Pioli was the general manager of the Chiefs, was hit pretty hard in the press, and he said, you know, the big quote that came out, we all need to do our jobs better, starting with me. He admits his first choice as head coach has been fired. Now they're on their 2nd one. The big name quarterback signee has been a disappointment. Matt Castle, those are 2 very big earmark items.
Every time we talk to Scott Pioli, he's always been very frank with us. He's always been very honest, and he's always accepted responsibility for how this team has played, and I expect him to make the moves necessary to help improve this team.
2nd and 15. O'Connell, the tight end, whipped down across the way by Rolando McClain, playing a good game. There's no gain. They stay at the 15-yard line.
And you're right. They make the decision to go with Romeo Crennel. Remember, this team played lights out the 2nd half of the season. Everywhere they played better on offense, on defense. Finally knocked out of the playoffs, I think, in a Week 16 loss right here to the Oakland Raiders. But there's not been any carryover from last year to this year. I think Romeo Crennel knows it. I think the players know it. I know Scott Pioli knows it. Not in any facet of the game have we seen the carryover to the 2012 season.
6 DBs, thrown in the backfield, 3rd and 15. Another bad snap, 3rd and 15. It goes to Drone. Underneath, hit by Wheeler, well shy of the 1st down, the 22. They had to get to the 30. It's a gain of 7. The momentum right now is in favor of the Raiders. Lilja having a tough day. Another 3 and out for the Chiefs.
Ryan Lilja, former guard, moved to center, struggling in those snaps to get the ball to Matt Castle. We've seen him turn one of those over on a center quarterback exchange, and they're trying to implore him, you've got to get the ball to the quarterback. Yeah, his hair's turning gray over this whole situation.
A performance would make your hair turn gray, but he's really been playing a very solid center. He was the left guard. He's never played center before until this year when Rodney Hudson went down with an injury. The normal center. So they moved Lilja over. As Adams fair catches that about the 31 on a 46-yard punt. He was Peyton Manning's guard in Indianapolis, where he was terrific. He's been very good here. He's been very good at center kind of up until today.
Yeah, but it's called growing pains.
Yeah,
he doesn't have
something.
He doesn't have his 10,000 hours to maintain that level of proficiency, and that's what happens. It's the new job that he's been doing well until today, and you start to have those quirks. And now it's just crescendo. There's been an avalanche of consecutive poor snaps from Ryan Lilja in today's game.
Prideful guy, solid veteran, good addition to the Chiefs.
Absolutely.
He's just having one of those days, as, by the way, is the team.
Absolutely.
Raiders almost seem like they're on cruise control right now as we're going to conclude this third quarter. First down and 10. After the punt, the second consecutive rain out by the Chiefs.
What's that?
From the Oakland 33, this is McFadden. Going to get a block, and right there he is devoured by Terry Poe. First round pick, gain of 1. That'll conclude the third quarter. That's the end of the third. Raiders on top, 23-9. You're watching the NFL on CBS, the home of Super Bowl 47. The fans obviously unhappy with what's happened today and this season and going back some time.
They just want to win. That's all.
Yep.
The fans here are good ones. They want to win.
It's one of the best fan bases in the NFL. And when they were winning, this was a place that no opposing team wanted to come. Second down and 9, beginning the fourth quarter. Couple touchdown passes today by Carson Palmer. 3 Kansas City turnovers. Darren McFadden round his ankles. Derek Johnson, gain of 6. And around our broadcast, we take you to New York and James Brown.
Dallas whittling away, boom. Hey, the Giants jumped out to a 23-0 lead. Little bootleg by Tony Romo on 4th and 1. They go in, extra point, good. 23-17, 17 unanswered points by the Cowboys. Solomon.
Well, they're trying to find out what life is going to be like without the middle linebacker, Sean Lee. He meant so much to that Cowboy defense.
And normally it's Eli Manning bringing his team back to get the win. Wow.
Third down and 3 here for quarterback Carson Palmer. First down result. Oh, it was bobbled. No, incomplete. McFadden with nice defense there by Derek Johnson. A hard hit, and McFadden could not find the handle, and they now have a 3 and out.
I think this is a nice touch on this throw from Palmer, squeezing it into that small window. But look at that play by Derek Johnson to get that ball out. Sure determination. You don't have to worry about his effort. Look at that karate chop to that arm. Pries the ball loose.
Now, you don't think he had some kind of possession there, do you? Look like the ball was moving, so there wouldn't be possession, so it wouldn't have been a fumble, but it was close.
That's a good call.
Well, Leckler,
you know your stuff.
Just watching the game. Here's Leckler, sends it down to the 20, and picked up by Javier Arenas, who is belted on the play, hit by Vic So'oto, another Green Bay Packers practice squad player. Castle warming up, 6-yard return. Raiders in control. Well, coming up, time permitting, after the game in the Subway postgame show, join JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, Coach Bill Cowher for the latest NFL scores, highlights, and news. It's all coming up on the Subway postgame show from our CBS studios in New York. 2 straight 3 and outs for the Raiders, 2 3 and outs for the Chiefs in a row, and we now have Kansas City. First and 10 from their own 24. Low snap again. Wheeler in the face of the quarterback, incomplete on the pass to Drone. Not a lot of breathing space back there for Matt Castle.
Well, I think someone said that their situation, the predicament this team find themselves in, is not all on Matt Castle. He gets another poor snap from Ryan Lilja and gets another hit from Philip Wheeler. And they said all the problems with this team is not on Matt Castle. I think clearly today, Kevin, you can see that because Castle is performed relatively well despite all the problems around him. The turnovers persist.
14-21 Castle today. Second down and 10. And a dodging move on a gain of 6, and they take it up the middle with Sean prone. He's up near the 30-yard line. The Chiefs have not scored an offensive touchdown in the past couple games. Their last came in week 4 against San Diego. Matt Castle found Dwayne Bowe a 29-yard score in the fourth quarter, but made no difference there. The Chargers got the Chiefs on that particular afternoon. Here's a 3rd and 4.
33 consecutive possessions without scoring a touchdown. Yeah, Romeo Crennel not happy at all.
They stay in the base defensive. 3rd and 4 now for Castle. Great pressure that time was put on him by Tommy Kelly. Pro Bowls hit the last couple years. 3 and out for the Chiefs. They got a punt. This is the 3rd consecutive 3 and out.
As the Boo Birds come out, Matt Castle is getting pounded. Just continue. He's trying to buy more time. Rolls out to his right, and there's Tommy Kelly. And we know Tommy Kelly's a big man. He lands on you, Kevin. It's not going to feel good. Look at that.
This is a Dustin Colquitt punt. Right about his 20-yard line, and Phillip Adams will be back for the Oakland Raiders on the 17. O'Connell had a hand on him, and then Jaleel Brown is over there to help make the stop. 6-yard return, 53-yard punt. Here comes Carson Palmer.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Autotrader.com. Now compare new and used cars and find the best deal on Autotrader.com. City Private Pass. Get more access with a City card. And by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Here we go.
Little Jack Stack Barbecue on the Country Club Plaza, just off the Plaza, Oklahoma Joe's, and about 15 other places that have some of the most scrumptious, mouth-watering barbecue anywhere in the world, right here in Kansas City. 1st and 10. All kinds of time to throw, and Denarius Moore finally plucks this out of the air, and the tackle was made by Stanford Rout. They'll spot him at about the 30. It's a gain of 6. It's the second half resume for Palmer and his offense.
Yeah, they've been able to get some scores, at least on their first couple of possessions in the second half. Then on the last 2, you can see they've gone 3 and out and had to punt. And I'm sure Dennis Allen saying, okay, let's put something together here, finish off this game, not allow the Chiefs to have any momentum, energy getting back in it.
180. What's that?
2nd down and 4. McFadden. Blocked by Wisniewski, among others, on that line. And Arenas got a hand on him. And I think Flowers to gain of 5 on the play and up to the 35-yard line. That's a 1st down.
Well, watch the hit here on McFadden. He gets through there, but then he takes a shot right there on the thigh. I don't know that he ever saw Javier Arenas. Look, he's looking at himself like, whoo, that you kind of, feel lucky to have survived a blow like that in the knee area, particularly when you never saw the defender coming.
As he went to Arkansas, Peyton Hillis was in that backfield down in Arkansas. Felix Jones was in that Razorback backfield. That was pretty imposing. 1st down and 10 from the 35. McFadden. Good block by Bryce Allen. There he goes, galloping into Kendrick Lewis. Another long run by McFadden, who is kind of breaking out a bit today. And earlier on a 19. That's a gallop of 28. Put him at the Kansas City 37.
And that's why you just go ahead and keep working it. He's able to elude the defender. Derek Johnson missed and whiffed on the hole when McFadden was coming through. Just excellent timing, and he was able to find it and hit it, staying in the game after sustaining that hit by Javier Arenas. And now he's rewarded with a long run today.
It's always been the injury concern about McFadden. Now he's healthy, but the runs aren't there, although he's got 80 yards on the ground today. Goodson takes his place, 1st and 10. Trying to squeeze through. Tui was on there at the very end on a gain of 4 to the 33-yard line.
Now, whenever you want to finish off games, Kevin, in the fourth quarter, we talked about Dennis Allen wanting his offense to get something going. You have to do it by running the football. You Don't want to give the ball back to the Chiefs right here. You don't want Carson Palmer throwing the ball, putting the ball at risk for an interception or a turnover. You need your runner. You need McFadden to be able to close it out, running the ball like what you saw and what you're seeing on this drive.
Goodson remains in. Palmer's had a couple touchdown passes today. 9 yards to Moore, 32 yards to Hayward Bay. 2nd down and 6. Goodson got by Berry, got by Daniels. And he's in the secondary. Actually, that was an earlier whiff by Brandon Flowers, and Daniels knocked him out. 21-yard run down to the 12.
Watch this wrap play, and then see how they pull everyone back from the other side. They used the tight end Myers, who was in motion one way and wrapped all the way back around to seal the edge for Goodson. That was a well-designed play by offensive coordinator Greg Knapp. You can see the Raiders over 100 yards rushing today. Where these rush yards have been hard to come by. These are tough, hard-earned yards by this Raiders offense.
Beating up the clock and continuing the drive. 1st and 10 from the Kansas City 12. Goodson. And Eric Berry comes flying in, throws him for a loss of 2. He's back to the 15-yard line.
What's Berry doing up there? He's a safety. He's well in the backfield of the Raiders. This is a rivalry where, look, neither team feels good losing this game. And now the Raiders have come into Arrowhead where it looks like they're going to win their 6th consecutive game on the road here at Arrowhead. Like you mentioned, there was a time when no one wanted to come here and play, Kevin.
So Dennis Allen, you're right. Tough place, loud place. The fans have left now. 2nd down and 12. And McFadden is back in. And Arenas hits him first. And Alan Bailey finishes him off with Berry, a loss of 5. And they go back to the 19-yard line. So the defense trying to impose their will here.
Defense blitz the run. Watch how many defenders up around the line of scrimmage. There's one defensive back, Javier Arenas. There's another in Berry. Look at how many guys are just up at the line of scrimmage there. And then getting into the backfield. They knew the Raiders were going to run it, and they're just wholesaling out. That means they're in man-to-man coverage on the back end. If you're Palmer, now it's 3rd and long. I'm sure you're probably going to run some kind of draw just to kind of keep them honest and stay in field goal range. But you might want to take a shot if they blitz again like that.
3rd down, 17, Trots. Rod Streeter, Arenas met him. So now the Oakland Raiders are 1 of 10 on 3rd downs today. That's the 4th drop unofficially by Oakland receivers this afternoon.
Yeah, these wide receivers, they failed their quarterback, Carson Palmer. And Palmer, he has just the best attitude about it. You know, he's working with these young guys. We told you 4 drop passes today. We already told you Streeter didn't come back on a stop fade.
So here's a 37-yard field goal try by Janikowski. He was hit from 36 and 35 from 29. Flag has been thrown.
And he missed it, Kevin. Wide right.
One of the rare misses at Arrowhead.
One of his rare misses within 40 yards.
That was from 37. Let's see what this penalty will reveal.
Offside. Defense number 30.
Oh, wow.
5-yard penalty. Repeat 4th down.
They'll get another shot. That look says it all.
It'll be right over here. Jaleel Brown coming in from the left side. Too early, too soon, too late.
Inside 40 hasn't missed since early 2010 down in Tempe. They'll try this one now from 32 yards away, hitting his previous 3, missing that last one, but the penalty gives him a 2nd shot. And sure enough, he puts it through. 5 yards closer and 3 more points better than Kansas City. 3-score game, and it's the Raiders on top with 8:14 to play in the 4th. Good day for Janikowski. Field goals of 36, 35, 29, and 32 yards. And a couple touchdown passes. 1 of 9, 1 of 32 yards by Carson Palmer. 3 Kansas City turnovers. And the Raiders in control. And circling over their 6th consecutive win at Arrowhead Stadium. That will dribble out of the end zone. Well, while we have a chance, let's take you to New York and James Brown.
Boomer, 24 unanswered. Hey, Kevin, on Monday night, we always talk about momentum. And what momentum the Cowboys have now? That touchdown pass right there, 24 unanswered points by the Cowboys. They go up 24-23. Back to you and Solomon in Kansas City.
A Boomer, kind of like the Chargers, losing a halftime 24-0 lead in Denver, coming back in the second half.
And usually turnovers play a role in the anatomy of a comeback.
First down and 10 for Castle. From the 20, McCluster. And the tackle made in the secondary by Pat Lee. A 14-yard hit. And a first down for the Chiefs.
Oh, you talk about turnovers. We've seen 3 of them today to add to their league total for the Kansas City Chiefs. Brady Quinn gets intercepted. A punt by Javier Arenas. And then the fumble on the center quarterback exchange from Ryan Lilja and Matt Castle. Those 3 turnovers led to 13 points for the Raiders.
Here's a Castle pass on first down and 10 to McCluster once again. And this will be up to the 45, a pickup of 11. Another first down for Kansas City.
So there you have it. Half of the Raiders' 26 points have come off the 3 turnovers for the Kansas City Chiefs. Just continue to shoot themselves in the foot.
Brady Quinn, if you're just joining us, was hit in the head on a hard hit by McClain in the first half. Left the game. Castle was taken off the bench after he was benched. That's broken up across the way by Pat Lee, intended for Dwayne Bowe at the 45. And that move, by the way, for those of you that don't come up on the Chiefs and their stories very often, at the beginning of the week was a permanent move by the head coach Romeo Crennel, benching the starter and going with the backup Quinn.
He pretty much said that he didn't envision himself having a quick hook on Brady Quinn. Remember, he was in Cleveland in 2007 when Brady Quinn was taken in the first round with the 22nd overall pick. Wanted to give Brady Quinn a chance. Now they find themselves by necessity going back to Matt Castle.
5 in the secondary, second down and 10 for Castle, running for his life. Here he goes, needs the 45 for the first, and he's got it to the 40. He was there. Scramble of 14 for Matt Castle. First and 10 for the Chiefs at the 41.
And Matt Castle's got to get on his horse. We talked about him needing to stay healthy. He's not sticking around for Phillip Wheeler to put another hit on him, and rightfully and smartly sliding on the play. We showed that number. This offense has only had 10 offensive touchdowns this year, but yet 24 turnovers.
Chiefs coming into today having lost 3 consecutive games. It's first and 10 from the Raider 40. Up the middle they come. Chased by all kinds of defenders, and then it went off to McCluster, who was drilled by Tyvon Branch. It's a gain of a yard to the 39.
There's Castle. He's going to get hit yet again very hard as he looks to get rid of this one. There's Houston driving him into the ground. Boy, it's bloody. This is a team that have lost every game at home so far this season. And then their last 4 home games, they've lost by 16 points or more. So they haven't really been competitive here at Arrowhead.
Second down and 9. Moriarty hit by Wheeler to the 25, 24-yard line. 15-yard pickup. Mark him at the 24. That is a first down. Chiefs with all 3 timeouts. You see the clock and you see the difference in our score.
Moriarty coming off that injury, knee injury that made him miss all of last season. Slashing right in between the linebackers, takes Phillip Wheeler to get him on the ground.
Third round pick out of Iowa. It's Moriarty. You're right. They missed him. They got him into a great position his rookie year. Missed last year with the injury in preseason up in Lambeau Field in Green Bay.
Watch the 2 Raider linebackers. Wheeler 52-56. Burris.
First and 10.
Blitz.
Nobody home. Was it picked off? It looked like it was. That's Pat Lee getting up. That would be another turnover. It's another interception, and the Chiefs have turned it over 4 times today.
And Castle is screaming at his wide receiver. He was like, "You're supposed to go deep. You're supposed to be deep not the defensive back.
That's a great catch.
That was a great catch.
Great interception.
Great catch by Lee.
He's starting for the injured Shante Spencer's going to come back soon. 4 turnovers. Halloween has come early for the Chiefs.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Mercedes-Benz. Experience truly great engineering today at your authorized dealer. And by Subway. Join Subway in cheering on Whitney Phelps as she trains for the ING New York City Marathon.
Matt Castle has thrown an interception. He has fumbled the ball. There was
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. First down, Oakland.
All turnovers reviewed, of course. There was a punt muff fumble by Arenas. And interception thrown by the starter, Brody Croyle. But Brady Quinn, oh my gosh, Brody Croyle.
That's a flashback of a different kind.
It's a bad flashback, too. It's not a good one. Woo. Man, oh man. I don't know if Brody Croyle's in football anymore.
He made a better catch in an interception than any of the Raiders wide receivers.
That was terrific from the 6. 1st and 10. Here comes McFadden. And up there was Tyson Jackson and Patoa-Tui. Gain of 2. Coming up, time permitting, on the Subway postgame show. Join JB, Dan, Shannon Boomer, and Coach Bill Cowher for the latest NFL scores. All kinds of news, notes, and highlights. All coming up on the Subway postgame show from our New York studios. Terrific interception. That guy, apparently, if you go back to the Super Bowl when Green Bay played Pittsburgh, Charles Woodson, you may recall, broke his collarbone. Lee took his place and was terrific in that Super Bowl win for the Packers down in Dallas, beating the Steelers. 2nd down and 8 from the 8. McFadden at the bottom of the pile there. They had all kinds of guys, including Dontari Poe. Gain of 3 down to about the 11-yard line. Well, we've got 4 minutes. Clock is ticking. Let's wrap up the Chiefs and we'll head to the positive story here, and that's the Raiders. But Kansas City is going to lose their 4th consecutive game. They've turned it over 4 times. They've gone back and forth on the quarterback because of injury. They've not led a game in regulation this year, which the records only go back as far as 1983. It could go back to 1960 for all we know, but that's as far as they've gone back to look. But this is, through 7 games, a disaster.
And not competitive at home, I think, is even more critical.
Against a division opponent, 3rd and 5. McFadden digging and stopped on the play. Justin Houston was there, one of the bright spots on this team this season. Loss of 2, back to the 9, and they'll have to punt. So the Chiefs are going to go to 1-6, coming off a bye. Lost 2 weeks ago at Tampa, 38-10. They're trailing 26-9. It'll be their 4th consecutive loss and their 6th consecutive loss to their arch rival, the Raiders, in this building.
And it'll be the 5th consecutive home loss. They have lost the game by more than 16 points. It speaks to the lack of competitiveness, and it's not something you're used to seeing from the Kansas City Chiefs here at Arrowhead.
Timeout taken, and the Chiefs have taken it. So that's the Kansas City story, and I think we've probably run as many numbers by you as you care to hear. For the Oakland Raiders, they came into today a game out of 1st place. San Diego has lost at Cleveland. They were tied at 3-3 coming into today with Denver. Denver tonight is in New Orleans. So if Denver wins, they'd be in 1st. But the Raiders, as of right now, as of 7 o'clock Eastern or 6 o'clock Central, would be tied for 1st place.
How about this? Yeah, if the Raiders win, of course, looks like they're going to improve to 3-4, and Denver loses, as you mentioned. That's what everything that Dennis Allen has been saying to his team. We're right there. All we need to do is take care of our business, and we're going to be contending for something special by the end of the season.
So the punt, and this is Arenas, who is hit by Kondo and grabbed by Kondo and tackled by the Pro Bowl long snapper John Kondo. 14-yard return by Javier out of 37-yard punt.
It's been a game of unusual trends, and it started out with Brady Quinn getting knocked out of the game in the 1st quarter after throwing an interception. Javier Arenas contributed to the turnover trend by muffing a punt, and then Carson Palmer to Denarius Moore for a touchdown, and another to Hayward Bay. He's able to catch it and run it in for Carson Palmer's second touchdown of the day. It's a 26-9 lead for the Raiders. They've been dominant both sides of the ball, but with a lot of help from Kansas City.
Here's a 1st and 10. This is Bo with an entourage. A block there by Albert, and the tackle is finally made by Philip Wheeler. It's a 13-yard catch and run, and his first catch in the half registered by Bo. And he has got to be far more involved than just one catch and a half.
I think there's no doubt you got to come out and run some bubble screens with Bo. You got to get him the ball early. It does two things: gets him going, but also gets your quarterback into early rhythm.
1st and 10. Short rush was on. And down goes Castle, hit by Seymour. Castle writhing in pain.
Look at the Raiders.
Matt
the snickering, and Matt knows he's got to stay in the game. Unfortunately, even though he's wincing in pain, he's taking some shots.
Roughing the passer. Defense number 92. Driving the quarterback into the ground. 15-yard penalty. Automatic. 1st down.
I did not like Richard Seymour's attitude on this one. Not only does he hit him late, drag him, or drive him into the ground, when the Chiefs' offensive lineman, look at this. Now, okay, that's it. Give it up. That's the body slam him into the ground like that isn't necessary. And when the Chiefs' offensive lineman were talking to him, he's just laughing like it's no big deal. It's just an attitude you don't need anywhere in football, let alone the National Football League.
1st and goal for the Chiefs at the 10. Seymour is out. Bryant is in there. Carter's on that line. Kelly and Houston. 5 defensive backs, and that's what Matt Castle is going to gut it out and stay in there. Is facing 1st and goal. Take the drone. Here's McCusker. That is a touchdown. And they finally get a touchdown.
Going all the way back to week 4 against the Chargers. It was a 4th quarter touchdown, and now they get one here today. Good blocking out front, and give McCluster credit for stabbing that one right in there. Get vertical, go downhill. Throw your little body around, get into the end zone. How about Matt Castle? He's shown us something. I think there ought to be a greater appreciation for him, Kevin, here in Kansas City.
Well, if nothing else, the way he handled the demotion and how he was helping Quinn get ready for today. We talked to Brady on Friday, and Brady said, I couldn't ask for a better teammate.
They become good friends, and everyone to a man is talking about the attitude of Matt Castle during a tough and difficult week where he had been benched.
Well, if they graded you on character, he would get the highest possible grade because he possesses that kind of character. But unfortunately, this season has just been so troubling for him and the team, and the turnovers again plaguing the Chiefs today. The Raiders, who are now in a 10-point game with 2:27 to play here in the 4th, will try to play these last couple minutes smart, because you never know. Here is the upcoming schedule. They have Tampa Bay next week back in Oakland, and then they go to Baltimore, and you see the subsequent schedule. They'll be just after Thanksgiving in Cincinnati. But if the Raiders go on to win, it'll be their 3rd win in their last 5 and their 2nd consecutive win. And for first year head coach Dennis Allen, the youngest coach in the NFL at 39, guy who played college football at Texas A&M, whose dad played in the NFL, was kind of a surprise pick, I think, for Reggie McKenzie when he took over the Raiders as his head coach. They're off to a pretty good start. And as you have said often, wins help get the message across, especially for a first-year guy.
Oh, they're buying into what he's preaching. There's no doubt about it. He goes to a Michael Huff and asks him to move from safety to corner. Michael Huff makes the move, and when you can win ball games, you feel that much better about making the sacrifice.
Last successful Kansas City onside kick was 2009, and that was batted out of bounds. A handball move right there by Tyvon Branch.
Smart handball move by Tyvon Branch.
There's a flag over there. As our crew continues to pick that one apart. Longtime rivals. 107th meeting between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Oakland Raiders before the game. Here at Arrowhead on the big board, they were showing all kinds of great clips from the history. Going back to Ben Davidson and Otis Taylor and the late Buck Buchanan, Len Dawson.
Some great ones around here in Kansas City. There is no doubt. And there's the ball. It's rolling around. It's there for the Chiefs to get. And there's Tyvon Brands doing the smart thing, knocking it out of Browns before Terrence Copper can come away with it.
Two fouls on the play. One by each team. Offsides. Kicking team number 50. Illegal bat. Receiving team number 34. Penalties offset. Re-kick.
They say illegal bat, but they call 34, not 33. I need an explanation on that one. They said number 34. I'm sure that was it. Did they say he not batted it forward?
Well, the bottom line is they're going to do it once again, and so we'll get a shot to watch the onside kick by Ryan Suckup. Raiders will take the flight home tonight from Kansas City and get ready for the Buccaneers. The Chiefs will be at 1-6, and in this division, I mean, you never know, but 1-6 is a pretty substantial hole.
No, it's not a pretty 1-6. I mean, we talked about the losses at home by substantial margins.
Streeter is the one who vacuums that in. Rod Streeter, rookie from Temple, played in a running attack there, so he was undrafted. He now is a prominent guy in the receiving corps with the Raiders.
You're coming off your bye, and you fall to 1-6. You come off the bye, and you allow the Raiders to come in here and win for the 6th consecutive time, a team in your division, in your home stadium. So, and you continue the trend of turnovers that no matter what, no matter who comes here and play, it's going to be hard to win games when you turn it over 4 times like what the Chiefs have done today.
So you've got the questions about Castle that remain from the very beginning of the season with all of his turnovers, and he's turned it over again a couple times today.
But that'll be the short narrative that people will grab hold to.
Yeah, I'm sure they will.
But you and I know that it's much bigger than that, right?
Well, now Brady Quinn's got a concussion. We assume he's got head trauma. He did not come back in the game, so that means that the test, that the protocol they went through did not prove positive. And so he's held out for the remainder of the game as McFadden on 1st and 10 plows his way down to about the 42, and he's got Jackson down there making the stop along with Poe. Timeout remaining. So the quarterback situation is as unsettled as it possibly could be right now for the Chiefs. And for those of you expecting to see 60 minutes, you're watching the NFL on CBS, the game between the Oakland Raiders and the Kansas City Chiefs. Kevin Harlan along with Solomon Wilcots. Raiders have been in control. A lot of turnovers for Kansas City. 60 minutes will be seen in its entirety immediately following this game, except on the West Coast, where it will be seen at its normally scheduled time. And it's a good one tonight, too. They got a little look at an NFL owner who's trying to do some different things with the newly purchased franchise. And you can see this right here. No team has not held a lead through the first 7 games since 1940. Unbelievable. And a good job to our guys down below. 2nd and 8. Breaking free. McFadden goes right into the grasp of Joselio Hansen, the ex-Eagle. 21-yard romp. He's over 100 yards today. His second 100-yard rushing game. The first was against the Steelers this afternoon against Kansas City.
And boy, has he earned it. Every single yard. He's gotten dirty, he's been hit, but he has stayed in this game, and he's paid off. And Carson Palmer said, we believe in our running game. We believe in Darren McFadden. To a man, the coaches have said the same thing, and now you see why. He's a guy that is learning to run in this new zone scheme. They had run more man and some more power stuff. As you talked about, the second 100-yard rushing game this season, he's had to make some adjustment. And some of the people in front of him blocking. have moved around and have had to adjust to them as well.
McFadden has 84 yards. He's registered here in the second half. He's remaining in the game right now. Here's a 1st and 10 as the Chiefs have burned their final timeout from the Kansas City 22. McFadden, clock is going to continue to tick to the 2-minute warning. So it stops right there after that 2-yard gain by McFadden. The Raiders on top by 10. Tonight on CBS begins with 60 Minutes and answers from a swing state, followed by new episodes of The Amazing Race, The Good Wife, and The Mentalist. Great lineup tonight, all right here on CBS. More timeouts for the Kansas City Chiefs. 2nd down and 8 for Carson Palmer with a couple of touchdown passes today. McFadden over 100 yards on the ground, adding to the total. Carving his way to the 16, picking up 4 right there. Jackson around his ankles. We had to see this one more time. Since 1940. I mean, that is a jaw-dropping, eye-popping note.
Here's Brian Daboll, the offense coordinator, standing next to Matt Cass. That's not one you want on your resume.
No, I'm just saying. I know I got to tell you, the optimism for this team, and from all. You know the experts that picked this team to win the division.
Absolutely.
To win the division. 3rd and 4. McFadden, nice stiff arm. Into Johnson. Takes it inside. Belcher finishes him off at about the 9. Gain is 6. McFadden. 114 is what he's tuned up to today.
He thought he was going to break this one from Derek Johnson. Look at that. He pulled him down by his hand. That's a hand tackle of a different kind. He was grabbing and tugging at everything on McFadden. Finally grabbed his offhand, the hand that wasn't on the ball, and was able to pull him to the ground.
Solly, what about the Raiders now? An improving defense. They're getting better week by week. We've seen that. They're going to get Ron Bartell and Shante Spencer back in their secondary soon. Bartell, they think, will start practicing this week after the broken scapula. They go to a knee. That's it. Chiefs can't stop the clock. And the Oakland Raiders have won their 3rd game in the last 5, their 2nd straight. They are now 3-4, a couple touchdowns by their quarterback Carson Palmer, and now they have beaten the Chiefs, hard to believe, 6 consecutive times in Arrowhead Stadium, and the 7th time in the last 10 overall.
On behalf of the entire
nice win for the Raiders on the road. Right now, have as many wins as the 2 teams tied in 1st place in the West. Tonight on CBS, 60 Minutes, The Amazing Race, The Good Wife, and The Mentalist. You've been watching the NFL on CBS, home of Super Bowl 47.